Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the third ever running of the Rejectrucks Super Series here at Walt Disney World. Walt Disney World has not really been used much for racing in the past couple of years. The only thing that has really been running here is the Richard Petty driving experience, and not much else. So, we've got 25 Rejectrucks have been fired up and ready to run 75 laps around this triangular track in Orlando, Florida. As of course it is the site of the first ever IRL event in 1996, and well, not exactly the best memory there, but I think one of the best memories is that, of course, we are here. On the pole in that very brightly colored purple and orange thing is Stefan Generic, truck number 14. Yaelin Mori on the outside of the front row, truck 99, the IKEA machine. Inside of row 2, truck 11, Jochen Marco, and Sandra Sessler in the 18, out-qualifying her much more experienced teammate. Row 3, Jackie Gardner, the teammate to Marco, and Ryan Nitfeld in truck 91, who's going to be sitting a few races out, we believe, in another category, so he can continue racing here. Yaropolk Petrovic in truck 54 on the inside of row 4, and Ernesto Raya in the Rojo truck number 10. Row 5, Sasha Hawk, the number 68 truck, and Manny Geinhardt Jr. in truck 17 on the outside of row 5, the second of the Twinings Team James Davies cars, or trucks, sorry. Frederick Arneson is on the inside of row 6 with Wayne Shepard in truck 98, Lance Brown, truck 41, and Julius Vangeray, second in the championship, truck number 90, is on his outside. Row 8, Rick DeGlide Jr., truck 7, and Ryan Zimmer, the championship leader and winner at Mexico City, on the outside of row 8, and there's some interesting rumors surrounding that team. We'll get to them later. Terry Stein is on the inside of row number 9 in truck 9, second of the Rojo trucks, and former Life Grand Prix driver Dmitry Vitkin on his outside in truck 13. Richie Foley in truck number 15 is on the inside of row 10, and on his outside, Brandon Cutmore in the +1 truck number 3. This could be Cutmore's last race in the series, so Brandon Cutmore, we'll have to see what he's able to do in possibly his last showing. Del Vecchio is on the inside of row number 11 in the first of the 2 Rams in the field, and JP Cancampo is actually fastest in second practice. He's on his outside. He's way back in the field. Talking about deep in the field, Quinton Voss is actually fastest in first practice, and he's all the way down in 23rd place in the inside of row 12, and on his outside is the usually hapless David Bloom, the second of the Rams in the field, truck 44, and on the back of the grid, Stephen White in truck 25, spun, hit the wall in qualifying, and he will start at the back of the grid. The team got it repaired in time for qualifying, so, well, there is, well, so the 25 truck will be at the very back of the grid. Stephen White, his teammate, Frederick Arneson, qualified fairly well and up in 11th place. And there is the 25 of White, right at the back there. So we're about to get ready to go. And there we go. Everyone's rolling away, we believe. See if everyone did actually get started. Looks like we have some hold up back here, but it looks like everyone is going to get rolling. Truck 14. Stephen Generic, first ever pole. He's about to lead the field down. Very distinctively colored truck. Hard to miss it. That much is for sure. And the Rejectrucks are green at Walt Disney World. Generic leads the field down and into the first turn as the front row gets a pretty good getaway. The 2 aero racing trucks on each other's tails, and the very bad start for Marco, it looks like. But everyone through the first turn all right. As we got some jostling in the back, looks like Quinton Voss may have gotten a bump, but Generic leads in truck 14. And Stephen Generic, he's got Yaelin Mori really hassling him. But as these cameramen aren't exactly the most well-trained monkeys we could find, but we'll just have to make do with what we have. They're on loan from the zoo, so you'll just have to forgive us. But Stephen Generic, truck 14, really beginning to stretch an advantage. As it looks like everyone is still fairly clean, let's go through the field and let's find the points leader, truck 31, Ryan Zimmer. There's some interesting rumors surrounding this team. They could be adding a second truck for a couple of races for the IFRC driver Silvio Rinaldi, but those rumors haven't exactly been confirmed by new. Oh, and Zimmer got into the wall, along with one of the +1 trucks a little bit further back in the pack. So Ryan Zimmer not doing his championship upsetting. Oh, looks like he didn't hit that wall very hard at all. So it looks like he's going to get away with that. I don't think he'll get away with it a second time, though. And we got 3 wide directly in front of him. Or we had 3 wide with his main title rival, Julius Svangere, in one of the Jefferson trucks, truck number 90s. He makes a move around the outside on Del Vecchio, who was... Oh, Del Vecchio into the wall! We got our first yellow, and the points leader, Ryan Zimmer, is in it. Del Vecchio and Steve White get together, and they bring out the first yellow of the day on lap 3. So, Ryan Zimmer in the 31. Kind of bad luck Ryan in this case, because we're going to have a look and see what transpired here. Looking on board from the 31. There's White in the inside in the 25. There's 3 wide in front of him. Quinton Voss. Del Vecchio squeezing Voss in the 40 down a little bit, but lets him through. And Del Vecchio tries to make an ambitious move down there in the line, but looks like Steve White got in the back of him. Don't think White was too impressed. And it's a little hard to tell from there, but it looks like Steve White may have cut down on him just a little bit from there. And at the same time, I'm not entirely sure where the 22 was going. So I think that might have just been a case of two drivers not exactly wanting to give each other a break. And let's see another view of this. Looking at Stephen White with the wonderful powers of VCR. And, yeah, it looks like Steve White may not have been willing to give Del Vecchio any room after Del Vecchio cut him off, it looks like, a little earlier in the lap. So, yeah, the 25 definitely got into the back of the 22 and turned them both into the wall. But, well, temper's flaring maybe a little bit too early, perhaps, as Stephen White in the 25 is not exactly, probably not endearing himself to his team, because I don't think the guys who work on that truck want to fix it twice in one weekend, but granted, he didn't do that much damage to it in qualifying. So that Stephen White may not have had to do too much repair work to it. But that 22 truck of Del Vecchio, really, there's a lot of damage to that thing. And you can see right there, 22 truck with a lot of damage. I don't think that'll take him out of the race. And if, depending how many cautions we get today, we could be in for a fairly long affair, as, well, Luke is going to be starting nose to tail on the restart. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Del Vecchio and White. And looks like, yeah, they are going to keep the 22 into the race. And the pace car, the BMW pace car, is going to still leading the field around. We've got Steven Generic still in the lead in the 14. Yaelin Mori still second. Jochen Marco is still sitting in third. Jackie Gardner is fourth. Sandra Sessler. Ryan Nitfeld. Yaropolk Petrovitz. Sasha Hawk. Manny Geiner Jr. and Fidrik Arneson, the top 10. Those are the cars or trucks in the points as we're on lap 7 of 75. Yaelin Mori in the 99. He's been driving GTs. He's been on touring cars this season, so he's been a busy boy. So some of the Reject Truck Super Series drivers very active in other forms of racing around the globe. As the maybe the 2 of the 11 and the 4 trucks, those trucks are teammates at Aero Racing, and hopefully maybe they'll play a bit nicer with each other on this next restart. We're waiting for the lights to go off in the pace car. And then we can get this one back underway. Should be seeing them off any second now. I would believe so. And wonderful for them to go out. Yep, there we go. The lights are off on the pace car. And that means we'll be going green this time by. So nobody's off the lead lap and nobody's out of the race. But it does look like... Oh, wait, the 90... Never mind, I spoke too soon. The 91 truck has just pulled into the pits. And Ryan Nitfeld is... yeah, there's smoke out of the back of the 91, so that's Ryan Nitfeld out of it. Well, I jinxed him, so, well then. Ryan Nitfeld, our first retirement, very disappointing for him because he had brought the Jefferson truck up to 7th, and he'd been having a pretty strong weekend, and he's been running in IFRC. He's been running in a couple of IFRC races, but Ryan Nitfeld, of course, the first retirement of the race in truck number 91. Steven Generic in the 14 as the pace car pulls in will lead the field back to the green. And coming back onto the main straightaway. And we get a green. Pretty good restart from Steven Generic. We don't have any lap trucks. Fortunately, that could have created a bigger mess than necessary, as lap trucks tend to do, as the 99 of Maury is keeping up with them. And the Aero Racing trucks, again, Marco, slow on a restart. So the truck, as well, the 14, very tail happy. You can tell he might have made that truck a bit loose early on in hopes that once we get a long run in, that might be a much more stable ride as opposed to having having a truck with a lot of push or a lot of understeer in it, because it's really not what you want late in the game on an oval. And I don't think, I think Steven Generic's, we got one of the, looks like the 11 may have kissed the wall. Yeah, the 11 may have gotten a little bit of help, dare I say. No, he got way out into no man's land, as you may have seen there. Marco, though, falling back just a bit into the clutches of Sessler as Gardner pulls away. There's a little bit of damage on the left side of that 11 truck, so as I can see. So I wonder if there might have been a bit of contact. Brandon Cutmore, truck number 3, is being reported as out of the race as well. Gearbox problems ending the day for the truck number 3, and what could be potentially his last race in the series. So very disappointing for him. Marco, though, in truck 11, trying to hold on, but he's pulling away a bit from Sessler, as we've got a battle for second here between Yaelin Maury as Ryan Zimmer into the pits in truck 31. As Jackie Gardner is going to move into second. He's going to try anyway. And on the inside, here he goes. Gardner, oh no, Maury's fighting back on the outside. He's got a good run coming in, but not able to sustain that. Or maybe I spoke too soon. He was a little slow in the center of the corner, but he's gotten around Gardner. Maury around the outside. And we've got the 54 up into the wall. But it doesn't look like he hit it that hard, so doesn't look like any need for any yellow there. Zimmer into the pits again! So Ryan Zimmer's day is going from bad to worse, and from worse to terrible. So Steven Generic in the 14 still leads the race. He's led ever since the green dropped. Truck number 14. Yaelin Maury still second. He's holding off Jackie Gardner in that 4 truck, and this is currently, the most interesting battle on the racetrack, because Steven Generic is, practically in his own zip code. He's running laps about 2/10 quicker than these trucks right here that we're watching right now. Steven Generic, let's check fastest lap standings, and as you can see right there, Steven Generic holds fastest lap of the race as well. But Jackie Gardner's still giving him a run for his money there. Last time by, Zimmer coming into the pits again, so there's really some dramas going on there with the 31. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there, but Ryan Zimmer's day is really just, he better be hitting some pretty strong antidepressants after the end of this one for the way his start has gone. And when I mean antidepressants, I of course mean those of the alcoholic kind. Hopefully he does those before driving. Before he, anyways, you get what I mean. Before he tucks in for the night. Steven Generic in the 14 truck leads the race. Still, he's really doesn't have any challengers. This truck's not necessarily the nicest looking one in the field, but, it's fast on race day, so I don't think they care what it looks like so long as it's winning. And it's really hard to blame the Gentep Racing team for that kind of attitude. It's really, they're putting their money where it matters, and they're out in the lead. Running second is now Gardner, who's gotten around Yaelin Maury. We missed that one. But Yaelin Maury is still holding on to third. He's been fairly impressive at the start of the season. In the truck number 99. And a bit further back, we're going to be looking at Marco's teammate, the 11 of Marco. There's Marco right there in the 11. Sessler is now coming under attack from Sasha Hawk, it looks like, in the 68, so we're gonna have a look. Oh, Sasha Hawk, man, that was a pretty ambitious, that would have been a pretty ambitious move, but if you might have noticed, it looked like Sessler was getting ready for Hawk to actually take that move. Take a dive going into one. That would have been really ambitious, and I think that would have resulted in both of them in the wall. But, as we're now watching Sasha Hawk in the 68 truck, one of the nicer looking trucks in the field, but, this 68 truck really, I think, Sasha Hawk could be setting himself up for a, potential championship bid if he can keep the pace up, with this 68 team. Sandra Sessler in that 18 as well has also been, turning some heads a little bit, especially this weekend, because she's been beating Manny Geinhardt Jr. quite comprehensively. Even though Manny Geinhardt Jr. himself is having a solid run back in 10th, let's have a look and see what he's up to. The former NASCAR driver's got some rear end damage, and we got a caution out. We got a yellow out, so we'll have to find out what that's for, and I have a feeling... Oh, and NR has minimized. Great. Oh, here we go. We're back. That was interesting. Alright. See what brought the yellow out. This is always a bit of an adventure sometimes to find out exactly. Okay, so the yellow is out. Okay, so when the yellow came out, who was in the wall? Oh, DeGly Jr. and the other one of the +1 trucks. Okay, so, oh, this was a bit of, oh, I think Richie Foley may have been making a bit of an ambitious dive here. Oh, I don't think DeGly cut down on the inside, not thinking that Richie Foley would be there. Foley took the risk, and DeGly shut the door, perhaps a little too late, and around he went. That's just one of those, that's really just one of those unfortunate incidents that happens a lot on some short ovals like this, especially when you're a bit further back in the field and you really need to make some ambitious moves to get to the front, to get into the points. But I don't think that this will take DeGly Jr. out of the race. That doesn't look like terminal damage. But granted, if it's damaged some of the radiators and the like, and I would not at all be surprised if they retired the 7 truck, but it's really hard to place blame on anyone for that incident, as he gives David Bloom a poke in the rear end, probably just for being himself, because David Bloom has a knack of rubbing people the wrong way anyway. Steven Generic. Truck 14. As we've had pit stops under this yellow, we're going to sort out the running order in just a moment. But it looks like Ryan Zimmer in the 31, he's 4 laps down, and he's going to pit again. But granted, I think that this might be a courtesy thing from Ryan Zimmer, pitting, thinking maybe he can put himself at the back of the line, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that, because I'm pretty sure the officials will tell him to line up on the inside, along the inside of Steven Generic, which could make this restart pretty interesting. Having the lap truck up there, who happens to be the championship leader. So Ryan Zimmer could throw a curveball into this race, and potentially the championship race, because there are 9 races in the Reject Truck Series season. This is race number 3. And of course, 9 championship races. We're not counting the Reject Trucks venture to the Spa Super Prix. And truck 14, Steven Generic, leads. Still, he's led since the drop of the green flag. He has led from the start quite convincingly. And then we have teammates, 2nd and 3rd. And where is Yaelin Mori gone? Jackie Gardner and Jochen Marco, nose to tail. Sasha Hawk gained some ground on those pit stops, got around Sandra Sessler. Fredrik Arneson and Wayne Shepard, and then it's Quinton Voss, who has really been coming through the field in that 40 truck. I guess that qualifying lap was a fluke, and we've got a big gap. Oh, there's Ryan Zimmer again. And there's Yaelin Mori back in 9th in the truck number 99. So Yaelin Mori is dropped back a little bit in those pit stops. We'll have to see if Yaelin Mori is able to come back through the field on the racetrack, because we know Mori has the speed, but whether or not he's able to come through the field or not, whether or not he's able to come through the field or not on this restart is another story. Everyone pitted under this yellow, and yes, the officials have told Ryan Zimmer in the 31 to line up on the inside of the front row. That's how these restarts work here on the ovals. When you've got when there's lap cars, they're going to be lined up on the inside and the inside of the leaders, so that they do have an opportunity to get their lap back. It's a rule that's been on the cards for quite some time, and well. Ryan Zimmer's so many laps down, he's going to need quite a bit of yellow to get back in the lead lap, but it's not impossible, and I wonder if he'll give it a go. And there's a restart. That's a pretty late restart. Gardner gets a pretty good jump on the leader, Generic, and look at Ryan Zimmer. Ryan Zimmer is going to cost Steven Generic the lead, as oftentimes that happens when there's only one lap truck. But remember, the outside right around right in turn 3 is where you want to be. As Gardner is now getting held up by Ryan Zimmer. Generic might take a run on the outside. No, Gardner throws the block there as, yes, Ryan Zimmer dives into the pits. Again, getting himself out of the way, so very gentlemanly by Ryan Zimmer. And Jackie Gardner now leads the race in truck number 4. Generic back to second, the Gentep machine. Truck 14. And we've got Sessler moving up into 4th as Hawk almost eats the outside wall and gets a nice taste of white paint on the side of that very red truck. In the truck number 18, Sessler, we got a big logjam there. Arneson in the truck number 5. And there's the 40 of Voss as Wayne Shepherd nearly knocks the wall down in truck number 98. There, we're looking back, and there's Quentin Voss in the 40. Started way back in the field. Way far back in the field, and now he's managed to claw his way up through the field. I wonder if this 40 truck only took 2 tires in that pit stop because under yellow, because that would explain why he gained as many positions as he did. But either way, he's holding on very respectably right now. Track position is, contact there between Shepherd and one of the Rojo trucks. That would be the 10 of Araya. As now, Jochen Marco losing a position to Arneson, who is really, really flying now. And so is Sasha Hawk in the 68. Sessler was moved up to 3rd. And of course, still leading the race in truck number 4 is Jackie Gardner, who is put a fair distance between himself and Stephen Generic. And let's see, anyone going very slow? Oh, Ryan Zimmer again. What's going on over at Zim Sport? JP Kinkanpa has not really had a very good day in that 42, as we can see right there. Interesting paint job on that truck. Doesn't exactly match what the sponsors are, but hey, he was quick in second practice. He's not quick in the race, though. Which was interesting, because second practice, the conditions were more similar to what they were here in the race. Going back to the leaders. Gardner still in the lead. Generic back to second. And not much going on in the front 3. They're all they're all holding station relatively well. We go back to where the 11 truck is. That is our good friend, Mr. Marco. As we've got Julius Svangere in truck number 90. Moving up into the points now, so Svangere could be in a pretty good position to get the championship lead back, which of course he won largely by winning the first race of the season. And we've got another yellow on track. Let's see if we can find out who it's for. Or what it's for. I have a feeling. Oh, we got Maury's Maury's around, and these two guys aren't playing nice with each other either. So yeah, it looks like it was for 99 around in the front straightaway. Yaelin Maury, so his day has not exactly gone well, and let's see. Terry Stein, and then Maury came off 3, and well then. One more look at that. Maury pulling it a bit wide, sees the other Rojo truck was in the wall. I think Maury might have thought that there might have been an accident about to happen in front of him, But then, of course, he became an accident when he pulled in front of the other Rojo truck. One more look, because Yaleen Mori's got quite a bit of a fan base out there. We've got the helicopter view in. Yay! With its annoying helicopter sound in the background. Anyways, there's the 41 of Lance Brown going on the inside. And there you see, yeah, gets hooked by Stein, goes around, he's into the wall, and there's really not much else that can be said about that. Yaleen Mori around, but that's shouldn't be terminal damage by any stretch of the imagination. But of course, what Jackie Gardner in the number 4 truck is worried about now is he's got to restart with Ryan Zimmer on his inside. So Ryan Zimmer, who is 6 laps down, is once again going to be a factor in this race. So, Steven Generic, truck number 14. Jackie Gardner, truck number 4. We could have another battle for the lead on this restart. Gardner. His team came fairly close to winning at Mexico, but late strategy call by Ryan Zimmer denied them. But to see if they're able to pull it off this time. Sasha Hawk has not gotten around Sessler in the pit lane this time, but I have a feeling that not many people pitted, or if they did, it looks like everyone may have done exactly the same thing. Oh, Ryan Zimmer. 42 truck, or the 42 truck has got a lot of damage. Dmitry Vitkin has got a fair bit of damage on him as well. Of course, the 13 and 17 were banging doors, as we saw earlier. Dmitry Vitkin and the 17 of Manny Guinard Jr. But, Dimitri's running back in 15th. He's got a shot at improving that, as we're closing in on the halfway point here. And Ryan Zimmer's got front end and got more damage on it now. I wonder if that's added to the damage that he sustained in the first caution. Somehow I don't think it is. I think there's something else that happened that we missed. Ryan Zimmer. I don't think that team's going to be terribly happy about this showing today, but I don't think it's any of their own doing, to be quite honest. I think it's some of the damage that they received in that first incident that they just got swept up in, and it just sort of started compounding and things started breaking, but they're still in the race. If there's enough people that drop out, they could get a point, but I think those chances are very, very slim. So Jackie Gardner is going to have to deal with a bit of a headache. He's got to do a perfect restart without Steven Generic jumping all over him. But Jackie Gardner has been lightning on these restarts today, as the field comes off turn 3 to take the green, and that's a pretty late green again, as you got a pretty good restart from the top 2. Very slow restart by Sandra Sessler, as there goes Generic on the inside. He's got 3 wide behind them, as there we got the 4 truck is going to hold on to the lead so far. Steven Generic going to go with Ryan Zimmer. Zimmer pushing up the track just a little bit, but Jackie Gardner not exactly too excited to have to get around him. Ryan Zimmer does not head for the pit lane this time, because the leader, I think, may have gotten by him already. As Quinton Voss, no, it wasn't Quinton Voss. It was another white truck. Could have been Arneson. Got into the wall a little bit. And the truck number 4 continues to lead here. Steven Generic now having to deal with the lap truck of Ryan Zimmer. Zimmer 6 laps down, as I mentioned, and not exactly being the most gracious about. Oh, there he goes. Gives up in the inside lane when he feels it's safe to do so. Can't blame anyone for doing that, because normally when someone's a lap down on an oval, they're a lap down for a reason. It's and oftentimes, if they just move out of the way, they might end up causing a caution. So, it's not always exactly the same way on a road circuit, but yeah. So Ryan Zimmer going back, dropping. Oh, he's got Wayne Shepherd all over him now. Wayne Shepherd had a pretty good restart, it looks like, because he's had a pretty good couple of past couple stints here because he's gotten around quite a few people. And, anyways, the 98 truck of Wayne Shepherd is now getting around the lap truck of Ryan Zimmer. And going a bit further back, Quentin Voss in the 40 truck. And a bit further behind him, the 68 truck of Sasha Hawk. And the number 5 of Fidrick Arneson's Quentin Voss, big loose in the 40 truck, and he's bounced off the wall. Sasha Hawk, I think, expected the 40 to come flying down in front of him after he hit the wall. But Quentin Voss hangs on, and Sasha Hawk picks up a place. Going a bit further up here, we got Sandra Sessler all over the back of the 14 truck of Steven Generic. Sessler gives him a poke. Sessler could be giving him the chrome horn fairly soon. And, well, she already did. Oh, Sessler made a dive there. That could have ended in tears. As we're getting reports that Del Vecchio and Svangere have both hit the pit lane already, and that Del Vecchio is a lap down in the number 22 Ram. So very disappointing for Del Vecchio, who made the first race at Adelaide very, very interesting in the closing stages, but just hasn't had the same kind of form since. The 18 of Sessler now really beginning to hound the 14, as the number 4 of Jackie Gardner is pretty much in his own zip code at the moment. He's pulled up. He's got a 2-second advantage, and he's the only truck on the racetrack that's really in the 29. He got another yellow. I wonder who it's for this time. At this point, there are so many trucks with damage on them, it's becoming much more difficult to guess. And guess you're going to have to go through the tried and true method. Find the pace car, wait for the lights to come on. Alright, so right about here. And who's in the wall now? Oh, no! Did the Rojo teammates get into each other? It looks like they might have. They did! Oh, Terry Stein! Oh, no! Oh, that was a hopeless maneuver. That was... Oh, no! I don't think that team can possibly be very happy about this, because they were both running on the outside of the points, and they took each other into the wall! Oh, no! Terry Stein is not going to endear himself to the team after today, because that was a big, big mistake on the part of the driver of truck number 9, the number 9 Toyota. His teammate, Raya, was the unfortunate one there. Had no idea that Terry Stein was coming up from behind him, and then wham, right in the back, and right in his left side, and around he goes into the wall. Oh boy, I'd love to be a fly on the wall when that team has its debriefing. That's for sure. Terry Stein and Ernesto Raya, though, I'm pretty sure Terry Stein's gonna have to be buying the team quite a few drinks to get over this one. But regardless, Terry Stein and Ernesto Raya, up to that point, had both been having a pretty good run, actually. Yaropolk Petrovic, who replaced Kenan Ardoglu in that truck after the first race, has really gone backwards in this 54. And the disappointing thing about that is well, Ardoglu scored a point, and Petrovic has yet to do so. Yali Mori, Rick DeGlide Jr., 13th. That truck looks like it's been in, well, in a war zone. Well, most of the trucks here already do. Could be worse. Oh my goodness. David Bloom's running in 9th. Quentin Voss, Jochen Marco. Ryan Zimmer. There's Arneson. Sasha Hawk. Mostly clean trucks at the front of the field. As you can see here, Sasha Hawk, Wayne Shepherd in the 98 truck is that thing's mostly clean. There's a bit of damage on the rear of that truck, but he did start. If I recall rightly, he didn't exactly qualify all that well. Steven Generic and Jackie Gardner, their truck's almost perfectly clean, especially that 14, not a scratch on it, and you can tell as we gotten one lap to go. Truck number 4, Jackie Gardner, as we have passed halfway. Oh boy. We've passed halfway, As, oh, Ryan Zimmer's on the inside. Oh, I think we may have more than one truck on the inside now because I think Del Vecchio's a lap down in the 22 truck, so we could have a very interesting restart here. Yep, 22 is going to line up on the inside of the 14. So this could be a very fun restart. As, Steven Generic, truck 14, hopefully going to take the lead away from the number 4 if he gets a good restart. So Jackie Gardner, on the other hand, though, is going to want to is really not going to want Ryan Zimmer or Steven Generic to get a good restart because he really wants to keep the lead. But at the same time, they may both have to be worried about Sandra Sessler, who has nobody on her inside. Sessler could use the back markers to her advantage. But remember, Del Vecchio is only one lap down. He has every reason to go sort of run balls to the wall as we get a restart. There's the green, and Gardner gets a pretty good restart. Here comes the 22. The 22, Del Vecchio wants to get himself back on the lead lap and back in the race. So you can't exactly blame him for trying, because if he gets out in front of the leader and he gets a quick yellow, he's back on the lead lap and into the race. But as you can see, there's Shepard. Shepard in the 98. A bold move as he goes to second. Wayne Shepard in the 98 has gone through from 4th to 2nd as Sasha Hawk into the wall with Fidger Garnison, and I don't think there's going to be a yellow for that. No, we see green. Sasha Hawk in the 68 and Wayne Shepard, and as Wayne Shepard continues to march through the back markers, as Del Vecchio now. But Sasha Hawk into the wall in the 68 and took Fidger Garnison with him. So that was a maddening restart there. We're going to have a look at that later. But Wayne Shepard in this 98 truck got a brilliant restart as Sessler tries to the outside, but Sessler into the wall. Sessler really trying a bit too hard there around the outside. Not exactly a lot of grip there. There's a big bump coming off the final corner, and Sessler may have hit that and just gone straight into the wall. But Wayne Shepard in this 98 truck has really kind of emerged out of nowhere as a contender here, as Gardner leads in the 4 quite comfortably in this aero racing machine. As Shepard into the wall now. Shepard trying to get ambitious with the back markers, and he's paid for it, but I think that's the second time he's been in that wall. And, yeah, a lot of damage to the side of the 98 truck. This really looked like a war zone, and Quentin Voss in the 40 is really going to emerge as a contender here, because Quentin Voss is Quentin Voss in the number 40 truck is now, you see, that truck looks fairly clean. I haven't seen Quentin Voss put it in the wall yet, keyword yet, as Jochen Marco has moved back up into 3rd. That could be a double podium for that team. Steven Generic has moved back up into 2nd. As we're now looking at some of the more unique cameras, we look behind, looking back at Marco in the 11. Now let's go find the leader. Now that's Del Vecchio. Here's Jackie Gardner, and you can tell he has already pulled a massive lead on everyone else. He's really just sort of dropped the hammer, and he's sort of doing a Vettel right now, getting a really good opening couple of laps so that no one really has any shot of catching him, and then he looks like he might be a bit more content to just cruise the rest of the way. Not a bad way to do it, because well, it's a lot less pressure for him to worry about, especially given all the incidents we've had today. That's not exactly a bad way to approach this race. And the number 4 truck, the air racing truck, that is Jackie Gardner. There's Steve White. He's into the pit lane in the 25. Richie Foley. It's a single truck team there for Richie Foley. After that incident that he was in earlier, looks like Foley may have damaged the right front a little bit, and their truck's just not handling the same as it was, because he really hasn't been anywhere since then. Oh, a lot of damage there to Arneson. That's from that impact at the wall he took with Sasha Hawk. As I do believe we've got a change for 2nd, as, yes, Jochen Marco has gone by Steven Generic, but Wayne Shepard in the 98 has moved up into 3rd. And Quentin Voss still holding on right at the back of this battle. Truck number 40. So Quentin Voss, that white truck, As you can see, how big of a lead the Gardner truck has over his teammate. Generic in the Gentemp truck running right there. As we're looking at right now, the purple and orange contraption. And all this mess, I would just like to point out that running in 7th is David Bloom, which means that everyone in this field is pretty much going to have to hang their heads unless they finish in front of him, which is usually the case anyway, because nobody wants to be beaten by David Bloom under any circumstances. As we got the 11 is slow, and I think he might have been in the wall, because I saw him come off turn 3 on a very high line, and that's yep, one-way trip into the wall. Well then, that's the second of the aero racing machines anyway. But Jackie Gardner certainly hasn't run into any problems, as Gardner now has a 5-second lead. The Gentemp 14 of Steven Generic holding up Quentin Voss on the inside. And Voss going to go right on by as Voss goes by and is going to try to bring the Holden of Marco right on by. The Build English DE truck, the number 54 of Yaropolk Petrovic, is set for his first points. So, because he's now running in 7th, because he's gotten around David Bloom, probably after I mentioned it. Obviously, that's what inspired him to make a daring passing maneuver on him. Because we know all of these drivers can hear me. As David Bloom now fighting back on the trying to fight back on the outside in that Ram. Now, to David Bloom's credit, there is no damage on that truck, but granted, I think he's just been going too slow that he can't wreck it. As Sasha Hawk goes right on by him, and Sasha Hawk's truck looks like it was in Vietnam or something like that. And Yelene Mori has worked his way back into the points. So anyway, Sandra Sessler now having a run on the number 14 of Steven Generic. As Generic, 5th, holding on to Sasha Hawk. I've kind of missed some of the battles here because we've been trying to go through the field and update everybody on how everyone else is doing. And here is, you see the running order there on the top right corner. See 3 trucks out. Looks like Stephen White has finally called it a day. And there you can see Ryan Zimmer 6 laps down, and Delvecchio still off the lead lap. But Delvecchio, he's still trying to get back in the lead lap. No one's in the Energy Lavezzi truck. No one's telling him, hey, some of these other guys behind here are racing are trying to hunt down the leader. Apparently, he's not paying any attention to that. He's trying to get his lap back, and good on him. But he's got Wayne Shepherd behind him, and I don't think Wayne Shepherd is going to waste too much time. Yep, Wayne Shepherd on the inside. Delvecchio not exactly going to give him space, but Delvecchio keeps it off the wall. So that's interesting. Delvecchio looks like after destroying the right side of that truck has managed to somehow control a truck that's now understeering, probably even more than it was before. So, anyways, he goes back, but he might have burned his tires off, and he's just dropping back after pushing very hard on the restart to get his lap back. In the meantime, Jackie Gardner has a 6.5-second lead on the field. So Gardner really having an easy time out in front of the pack. There's only been 2 leaders, Jackie Gardner and Steven Generic. Gardner has been in the lead for 36 laps. Steven Generic for 24. But now Wayne Shepherd is now going to have a run to try to get the lead back. Quentin Voss looking at his first podium, and with a truck that's got no damage on it, Quentin Voss is hoping for a yellow. Because I don't think either one of them are going to catch Jackie Gardner without it. Either that, or unless Gardner runs into problems, or we get a late pit stop, which I don't think is going to happen. There's Arneson. Oh boy, the Rojo guys are near each other. Oh, we could get our yellow, boys. The Rojo truck's not exactly having an ideal day. Neither one of them has been the same since they ran into each other, and from the looks of the way they're racing each other, I don't think they've forgotten. They've forgotten about that little prank. And there's Manny Geinhardt Jr. in the 17. Let's go back to Quentin Voss. And nothing is happening here. Here's where something is happening. Sandra Sessler in the 14 is having a run on the 14 of Steven Generic. Sorry, as As whoa, Del Vecchio and Sandra Sessler and Steven Generic make contact. They've kept it clean for now. But Generic and Sessler paying attention. Whoa! Petrovic in the 54 around the outside of Sessler. And Petrovic moves up to 6th. And the Build English DE truck. So, great run for Yaropolk Petrovic around the Twinings Team James Davies machine of Sandra Sessler. And the 54 moves up another place. So, Petrovic really come through the field. And now he could be staring at a fairly decent point stay, as we've got a bit of loose condition there on the 22, but he saves it, keeps it off the wall. Del Vecchio in the Lavezzi Energy truck. David Bloom and Yaelin Mori driving for the Crusaders is trying to get around David Bloom, who's driving for, well, himself, because no one else would want him. Yaelin Mori now having a peek on David Bloom, and he's going to make the pass. Oh, not quite. David Bloom fighting back. Can't believe I'm saying that. And Sasha Hawk, in the meanwhile, has worked his way back into the point. Yes, David Bloom holds him off. Wow, that's a surprise. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Given how much damage is on this 99 truck. And, that's not exactly a surprise then, because, well, when he has that much damage on the right side of the truck, that's going to produce a lot of pushing and a lot of big understeers. So, Yaelin Mori's truck is not exactly handling well. David Bloom's, theoretically, is going to handle a lot better. I say theoretically because David Bloom doesn't know anything about setup. Anyways, so Sasha Hawk in the 68 truck is come back to the field to get to 10th. Lance Brown in the 41 car, 41 truck, not a whole lot of damage on it, but he hasn't had a whole lot of pace either. So Lance Brown, actually, this is a pretty good upturn in form for this race. He's not had the best day today. Dmitry Vitkin in the 13 sits right behind him. That is Vitkin, truck 13. And then there is Julius Svanjare, who's looking at points after, after some disasters early on that he only barely touched on, as Jackie Gardner continues to pretty much dominate the end of this race. Ryan Zimmer, I don't think much more needs to be said about his day. Manny Geinhardt Jr. has really been stuck back in the midfield and really been avoiding a lot of the prangs that we've seen, but he did get into an incident with Dmitry Vitkin, and that hasn't helped his cause. I don't think anything more needs to be said about the Rojo trucks. There could be some new drivers in the over at +1. We're not quite sure who those are yet, but we'll just have to wait and see for any official announcements to come out. But there's Rick DeGlide Jr., the only one of the +1 trucks still running. JP Kancampa in the 42 truck, sitting right there in 17th. As I mentioned earlier, he was he was fastest in the second practice. However, hasn't really translated that into much race day speed. Ernesto Raya and Fedric Arneson have both been in incidents today. Jackie Gardner, in the meantime, continues to lead quite easily, as we are less than 10 laps to go. If there's a yellow right now, it will most likely end the race. So Jackie Gardner pretty much has got this one locked up, barring any major problems. So, Jackie Gardner, truck number 4. Race number 3 of the Reject Truck Super Series could be taking career victory number 1. So, Gardner got a big lead on Wayne Shepherd, and Richie Foley could be getting in the way of Wayne Shepherd, so we could have some, well, anyways, here is the 98 truck of Wayne Shepherd. Right behind Shepherd is Quinton Voss, who has done an absolutely fantastic job at coming through the field. Wayne Shepherd thought about making a dive on Richie Foley, but then I think he realized, wait a minute, I could just throw away second, because, Wayne Shepherd cut a fair bit into Jackie Gardner's lead that time by. Jackie Gardner had in the number 4 truck, he kind of had a slow lap. Yeah, he ran a 31.0. He's probably just put it into cruise mode, but he better not get too complacent because everyone else will be running him down before he knows what happened. Jackie Gardner, the number 4 truck, as we see now, Wayne Shepherd. See how much Wayne Shepherd's able to take out of him this time by. Well, actually, he doesn't take much out of him, so I guess Jackie Gardner must have just taken it a bit easy that particular time by. I was wondering if Gardner had been slowing, which Really, at this is the point in the race where the driver begins to hear all sorts of things come attuned to. Oh, we got a yellow. We got a yellow. This one is probably over, and Jackie Gardner has probably just locked up his first career win. I would say he most definitely has. I don't think they're going to have enough time to clean the track up. Let's see what brought the yellow out. Let's see what did bring the yellow out. I was already waving there. Oh, Ryan Zimmer. Well, what have you done this time? Alright, since we probably got plenty of time. Let's fast forward just a little bit. It's our good friends at the Rojo Wrecking Crew here. Moving away. So Stein gets into the back of the 33, or 31, sorry. Oh, Zimmer goes into the wall, back up and across the track. And yeah, Terry Stein just punted a back marker for no reason. That wasn't for position or anything like that. That really was for no good reason. Thanks. Well, this one's going to end under caution, the first of 6 oval races in the inaugural Reject Truck Super Series season. Had a pretty good one today, but Jackie Gardner sure wanted to see that. Wayne Shepherd certainly didn't, but they, on the top right corner, that's pretty much going to be your finishing order. David Bloom in the points. Shame on everyone who finished behind him. But anyways, here is how the finishing order looks like it's going to shape up, provided no one blows up under caution, under pacing here. Jackie Gardner, Wayne Shepherd, Quinton Voss. Yeah, there's Jochen Marco, just missing out on a podium, but had a pretty solid run regardless. The Build English DE truck of Yaropolk Petrovich. The Gentem truck with Steven Generic. One of the Twinings Team James Davies trucks, Sandra Sessler. The Crusaders with Yaleen Morey got around David Bloom at the end. Then David Bloom, driving for his own team. Lance Brown in the 41 is going to round out the points finishers. Sasha Hawk, with barely anything left for a right front fender, is going to finish 11th, followed by Julius Svangeray, Dmitry Vitkin, Manny Geinert Jr., Terry Stein, who, granted, he caused quite a few incidents today, but I haven't heard anything about the stewards possibly looking into that. We'll have to wait and see if there's any protests following the race, and then the stewards will review those incidents. JP Kinkanpa, Yuka-Pekka Kinkanpa is going to finish 16th, and that's a pretty good day considering how his race went. Fredrik Arneson 17th, Ernesto Raya 18th with barely anything left on the truck. Rick DeGly Jr. 19th, pretty much the same situation. 20th place in truck number 15. That's where you're going to have Richie Foley, then Antonio Del Vecchio, and Ryan Zimmer is the last finisher. And there is no real green-white checker system for the Reject Truck Super Series yet. The series officials could be considering that in the future. However, given that the series was really kind of put together in one afternoon, I would assume that could be in the future of the series, but not at present. Knowing that considering that the series officials hired a bunch of monkeys to do the cameras, to work the cameras here at the racetrack. And by the way, I would like to thank all the zookeepers that lent us those monkeys, because they've actually done a much better job at camera work than I was expecting. That the said monkeys be given much better some snacks for it. Some rewards, whatever you need to do. But Jackie Gardner, truck number 4 for Aero Racing, claims his first win in the Reject Truck Super Series, third ever race, and its first oval event. Jackie Gardner in a Holden is the winner. So that is all for the third race of the Reject Truck Super Series. We'll be back the next time out for more oval racing and maybe some much more amusing reject-worthy actions. Thank you all, and have a wonderful day. And we'll check the point.